Welcome to another episode of DarkHorse Matters, the show about people and their passionate pursuits in life. I'm your host, Bev Matayoshi, and I am passionate about talking to people about their pursuit toward their dreams, which is very important. And we have to focus on it. Otherwise, we don't get inspired. And that's the key, is to be inspired. And every single week on this show, that's what happens to me. I get inspired. So every single week, if you have been listening to the show, thank you so much for the support. And if you're new, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe and hit the bell too, so you can be notified every time we have a new guest on this show. So I'm very excited about today's guest because he plays a key role on the momentum of this show. And we'll get more into that, but he's a very important person who has inspired me to just, keep going in podcasting. I had no experience prior to this, and he has a lot to do with, just the success I've had so far. So I just want to give a warm welcome to Stephen Boyce, Mr. Solutions himself.
Hey, I get the tambourine, yay! Hey, my name is Stephen Boyce, aka Mr. Solutions. First, before I say anything about myself, I just want to say, huge fan of the show, long time listener, first time caller. It's great to be here. It's really amazing. Thank you so much for having me.
Ooh, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. It's really my pleasure. Like I said, I'm really a huge fan of the show. I've been watching since the first episode. I love what you're doing here. So I'm just grateful to have a chance to be on the show with you.
Awesome. But Stephen, I know it kind of seems like I've been parading my high school friends on this show lately, which is not my intent, but I have reconnected with a lot of people, friends and people I haven't spoken to in a long time over the course of 2020. And it's been just really inspiring to hear the transitions that people have been, doing in their lives. So not my intent to parade my high school friends, but I don't care because each person I've spoken to has fired me up, and you have been a very driving force in that. So I'm super excited to have everybody listen to your story here.
Well, thank you so much. Yes, I'm proud to be on that parade of high school friends. One, it means that we're all doing fairly well, right? We're not all floundering at being adults. And it seems like most of us are moving on to the next phases of whatever we're going to be as adults. And that is pretty exciting. And honestly, I appreciate that lens of the show. I get to reconnect with all those people that you reconnect with through this show. So, I think that's great. But yeah, DarkHorse Matters, me and you, you have a lot to do with why I'm doing a lot of the new things that I'm doing in my life. Because if I didn't get involved with the show, I actually wouldn't have all these new exciting things to talk about. Like everything that I'm doing right now has sprung from me helping, or getting really fired up about what you were doing. And then being like, ooh, I want to help you with that. And then now, like, everything that I'm doing right now is really a springboard from DarkHorse Matters. So I really can't thank you enough. But we're going to get into all those silly well, I'm not doing anything silly. I'm actually making some big moves. But we'll get into all the things that I'm doing in a little bit. But let me, what? I'm supposed to be telling you guys about me. I haven't told.
Yeah. So
I haven't.
Share with the audience a little bit about yourself. I know we met in high school. So, but now that I think about it, were you born in Hawaii?
One, we met in junior high school, and two, I was not born in Hawaii. So I was actually born in New York. I was born in the Bronx. I moved to Hawaii when I was 11 and a half, 12. And I don't know, it was a huge transition, right? Like moving to Hawaii and coming from like the most stereotypical city in the world, you know what I'm saying? Like city, and then moving to like this island where like everything is like slow paced.
Yeah.
Everybody's all like, alohas and super kind or whatever. It was weird. Um,
Yeah, I can't even imagine how different that must have been. Like growing up, I just, I don't remember having a whole lot of African American friends, like Hawaii, Hawaii, like I Caucasians and African Americans are the minority there. Like when you're
yeah,
calling roll, when you're hearing attendance being taken in the morning, it's all Japanese last names or Hawaiian or
or Filipino.
or Filipino or Portuguese, we call them Portuguese.
That you know what? We ain't gonna talk about how racist that is, but
I
yes.
know. But I just like can't even imagine how much of a culture shock that must have been for you. So what was it like growing up in Hawaii, being this, minority? Was it weird?
It was. Okay, so it was weird in good ways, and it was weird in not so good ways, I guess. Right? You know what I mean? Like, one, we were kids, so there's always the curiosity and the unabashedness that children have, right? So, I get the strange questions about my hair and, about this and that or whatever. Just, you know, questions I would have never gotten if I were not the mind. Yeah, black people really are not the minority anywhere. But, if I weren't in Hawaii, you know, that way like that, like, I just wouldn't have never dealt with those questions. But at the same time, um, everyone in Hawaii is so welcoming, right? Like, and so kind, like, hey, come on, come into my house and share with us stuff. You know what I mean? So, like, the culture shock was in both ways. It really was like, here I am, and I'm not surrounded by people who look like me and they don't have my culture. And I had to acclimate to multiple different cultures living in Hawaii. Like, I think that's one of the big things that people don't get about the island is that, like, while New York City is a melting pot of cultures, not all the cultures interact and embrace each other's cultures and, celebrate that in schools or whatever, right? And Hawaii is so much different. Like, everybody that is integral to the island's, cultural scene gets a voice and is represented in schools and in television, So, one, not really seeing that representation was kind of jarring, right, for myself. But then also seeing how a community of people does actually come together to represent each other was also really amazing, right? So, if there were more Black people in Hawaii, then, you would see a bigger presence because Hawaii is like that,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. It's such a small place. Everybody knows each other. It's and if you stand out, you're gonna be known. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah, okay. Like, my dad is okay. So everybody on the island knows my dad because he stood at the door of Costco's for 25 years, right? So you can't walk anywhere down the street in Hawaii without somebody being like, "Hey, Mr. Costco, hey, Steve,"
yeah.
like, yeah. If you stand out at all in Hawaii, everybody knows you. Like,
Or like Mango Man. Do you remember
oh
Mango?
yeah, man. I'm part of his Facebook page. Of course, I remember
He has
Mango
a
Man.
Facebook page?
Yeah, girl, you don't know?
I didn't know he had a Facebook page. That's crazy. Mango Man,
Yeah.
like for those of you guys who don't know Mango Man, growing up, like in when we went to middle school, there was a homeless man who was always hanging out by like Safeway and Kaneohe.
There
And
still is a homeless man
is he
hanging
still
out by.
around?
Yes,
Okay, I haven't been around in a
he
long
just had
time,
a
so
birthday.
he was known for his one dreadlock, which was like down to his
So gross.
ankles. It was his bed, his mat that he slept on, I guess. But
Yeah, it was like this one giant matted dreadlock that like covered his hope. It was so gross. It's nasty.
man, Mango Man, the famous homeless man in Hawaii.
Famous home. How do you become a famous homeless man?
Well, that
That one dread though.
I gotta write a song about that. One dread.
100.
Yeah.
100, man.
Mango Man, I haven't thought about him in forever. Oh my gosh, thank you for that memory.
Oh, you're welcome. No, Mango Man is great. He has a Facebook page. You should look him up.
Okay, yes. I'm
Actually,
gonna
okay, so like he doesn't run his own Facebook page, like somebody in Conneaut, I'm sure, runs a Facebook page for Mango Man or whatever. But yo, he's got a Facebook page. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm gonna have to add him as a friend so I can keep up with his existence. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
pretty much. Yeah, no, I was just like 2 weeks ago, the feed was like, Mango Man has a birthday today. I was like, well, look at that.
Oh my God. So okay, let's go into I've always remembered you, Stephen, as a very passionate, creative ball of energy. You know, like you're a writer, you're an artist. So like I just want to hear some stories of how that evolved in your life. Like were you always creative since you were a child? Like and what that has become, you know, in your adulthood.
Excellent question, Bev. So I've always considered myself creative, right? And lately, as I've gotten older, I've realized, okay, I always thought I was artistic, right? But as I've gotten older, I realized I'm not really artistic so much as I am very creative, right? Like I have a lot of creative ideas. I'm very expressive with the things I want to do. I am an avid writer now. That is the thing that I enjoy the most, the thing that I do the most, and I probably do that the best. I write well. I also do try my hand at illustration and video editing and playing music and all the arts. So, you know, I'm really just I'm just very expressive and I have a lot of ideas. I'm not very good at all the things that I try my hand at, but I still, I still dabble, you know what I mean? But in my dabbling, what that has really evolved into is building relationships with other people who are professional in the fields that I like to explore. And those relationships really turned into, well, it's turned into a lot of things, but it started off as a publishing company, a digital publishing company that I run called Soul-Lution Publications. Okay, actually, let me take a step back. So I really run a company called Solutions LLC. That is the company that I actually run. It has a whole bunch of little subsidiaries called Soul Monkey ... right? So, but I've run this small publication company called Soul-Lution Publications, and we do graphic novels and regular novels and children's books and low content, stuff. And for anyone who doesn't know what low content books are, that's like journals and logs and like activity books, right? Things where you don't actually have to read stuff, but you can buy it anyway, right?
Is that kind of like a blog? Kind of
No,
like
no,
blog?
no. No, we sell actual books through the KDP, through Amazon. So you can check out most of our stuff under Mr. Soul-Lutions, and we'll get all those links, I'm sure, in the descriptions below. You know how the internet go, people. Don't even act new. Like, subscribe, subscriptions, you know the deal, right? But they're you can actually order a paperback journal from us, and then you can write in it like a journal, right? Or you can keep logs of whatever you want to keep. They're actually paperback products for the low content stuff. The other stuff is purely digital, so like the comic books and the regular books, right? We save you some printing money cost on that, and boom, hook you up digital. But that has evolved into many, many more things in the decade that I've been doing that. So recently, I have I've picked up some new partners, which I'm very, very thankful for. And we've started a new consulting agency where we are connecting people who are starting businesses, who are growing medium-sized businesses with talent that they need to do that, with illustrators and writers and voice talents and video editors and all the cool people that they need to get their projects and their passions off the ground, because I'm passionate about people and their passions and
Yeah.
how to grow them.
Stephen, I love how you're you're a very creative person, but your talent is in building relationships. Like I see this in you ever since we started interacting again. You're always reaching out to people and seeing how you can be of value to each other. And that is a huge part of, being an entrepreneur. And I just love that about you. And
Oh,
you
thank you.
definitely have a positive energy in that way. And I can see your company, going places because of that. Um, so like as far as um, you know, I, podcasting, like I want to go into that a little bit because
Sure.
when I started this podcast, that's when our interaction really started to be on a regular basis. You reached out to me on Facebook and we reconnected on social media that way. And then we constantly started talking. And you really, really inspired me and really helped me structure this show to be a little bit, it helped me drive the conversations in these interviews because before I had no experience and my interviews would be taking like 3-4 hours long and I'd have to edit it all the way down to an hour, which was painful post-production wise. You know what I mean?
I do.
So your structure that you helped me with this show really, it really made a huge difference. And I just want to thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. It was my pleasure. It's one of the things that I do is show writing, right? So I do show writing, I do script writing, I do a conceptual writing for like actual shows and movies. So I do treatments. I do a lot of different writing. But one of the things that I do is I do a lot of show writing. Like, hey, I got the show idea. I want to do this, blah 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 blah. And I'm always trying to get someone to do a show with me. And this is years ago. Now I actually get people to do shows with me because I changed my tack, right? But I used to spend a lot of time conceiving shows and their formats because I was like, oh, I got this great show idea. And I still have all these great show ideas. Like they haven't gone away. Like I still have them all written down. And then I started writing like a couple shows for people, who was like, I got this show I want to do. And I was like, all right, well, I'll write you a little show format or whatever. So I had some experience doing that when you came and you started doing DarkHorse Matters. And I loved your first guest, Angel. Like between seeing you being passionate about doing anything, right? And especially in COVID times, because that's when the show came out. And then your first guest, I was like, oh, I want to help her and be a part of this somehow. Right. That was just really where I was, mentally with your show. Now, one, because I have been doing show writing, right? And then two, I don't know, I just loved Angel. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, he
Like
has he has a
he
lot of
was
energy.
he was so right on. Like everything he said was like fire truth. And I was like, if this is the show that we're doing, that she's doing, like I want to make sure it is the like the best show it could be, right? Like I seen that you didn't have a really like a format yet, and like I could tell that it was cut down from hours and hours and hours. I watched the light change. You know what I mean?
The
Like
sun go down in the video.
yes.
And I can see my son like shaking the Christmas tree. I'm hungry.
Hungry. So, I was like, one, how can I help my sister? And then, okay, I had just started talking to your sister as well, because she has started coming hard with the cloud cartoon stuff, right? And then you hit with DarkHorse Matters. And I was like, this is a sign. I was like, I'm supposed to reach out to her too and be like, yo, let me help you with this. But it really was a sign. Like I said, if I hadn't reached out to you on this podcast, I wouldn't have started doing my own streams, because I was all like, one, I was waiting to get some more cameras and stuff because I'm a snob and I wanted to do things like this, right? You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to do that, and I hadn't purchased the cameras yet, right? But then I also was like, there's a level of production we could be hitting here if we were like doing other things with OBS, right? So I ran out, I got a whole bunch of stuff because I'm a psychopath. And I learned how to use OBS and all these cameras. And then, and that was just to kind of be like, this is what you can do with the show, right? Not even to be like, you have to do this, like just what you can do, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And my other friend was like, I don't know why you're not streaming. You have everything you need. You have more than everything you need to stream. So, I started streaming, and from that, I went from writing like shows every now and again for people to like people are like, "Yo, I want to buy a podcast." Right. And I was like, well, I didn't think a podcast was a thing I could sell, but okay. And it was like they wanted to like buy the production, like the writing. They wanted me to produce it like remotely so they could do it with friends, because I do a lot of shows where I do like remote with people across the country. And people were like really fired up about that. And actually, the opportunity I'm in right now with the consulting agency with the Atelier Block And Soul, I went up there to sell them a podcast. And, they was like, nah, I got a vision. I was like, I have the same vision though. And, it was, from there it was on. So,
can you tell me a little bit more about the other shows? I know one of the shows that I watch every time I see it pop up on my notifications, if I'm, not doing something at that moment, I'll tune in. That show that you call The Show.
Yeah, this is called The Show.
Yeah, this is called The Show. I love that show with you and Julian. Julian is man, that guy's another very inspiring person.
I love Julian. I can't look. I love Julian. I love you. That is my dude. He is massively talented. Great spirit and a voice to kill anybody.
Yes, his voice is very hypnotizing.
Look, I don't even persuasion that way. The man's voice is sexual chocolate, right? Like, but me, okay. So I'm going to talk about my 3 main shows. I'm not going to talk about the ones that I drift in and out of, depending on what I got going on or who I'm talking with, right? But I do. This is called The Show, an African American discussion. I do that Monday nights with Julian Long, who is a host of his own show called Storytime with Julian. I do urge you to check out both of these shows.
I subscribed. I'm a subscriber.
I love it. Yay. No, but check out both of these shows. Storytime with Julian is amazing. But we do a show together called The Show, African American Discussion, where we talk about preconceived ills in the Black and African American community and how we might be able to resolve that. I know, like last week, or the week before, we were kind of way off topic. We were just on some relationship stuff. But I think our fans really kind of was into that, so that was cool. But we've been back on topic since last week. But definitely check out that show. I do another show on Mondays called The Wayfarer's Guide, and I do this on Monday afternoons. And it is a show. It's called, actually, the subtitle is a world and life skill building show, right? So we both teach you how to, me and my friend Dragon Scaling, we teach you how to build a game world, like a tabletop game world. The best way I can describe it is, if you're familiar with Dungeons and Dragons at all, it's something like that. But some years back, me and another friend of mine wrote a game system of our own. And recently we've decided to bust that out on the show, and we're working from that. And basically we teach you how to use digital tools and writing skills and all various kind of skills that you use in a game and to build a game world. And we show you how to translate that into your daily life, from your work to your personal relationships, and how those skills kind of translate. In that, the fact that just because it's a game doesn't mean that you're not learning something from it, right? Like there's a lot that you can take away.
I'm gonna have to tune into that show. I'm interested in learning more about that. That's very cool.
It's actually a fun show. We do an hour where we kind of discuss like life skills and business things and topics that are really kind of relevant to how you might build the dream you're trying to build. And then we go into the game build, and then we kind of parallel those things in the game build. So kind of a fun show. I enjoy it. It's the Monday morning show, so it's always beset with some kind of technical issue, because it's Monday morning, and I just need to move it to Tuesday, and then I won't have those problems anymore. You know what I'm saying? But in my third show that I do that I really enjoy. Honestly, this is my favorite conversation show that I have because it's not about anything serious. It's just about fun stuff that I'm into. But I do a show on Saturday afternoons called Comic Cinema Clash, where we talk about comic books and their adjacent media. And what I mean by that is like movies and animation and, you know, TV shows, whatever that they translate into comic books. And we just kind of, you know, either geek and fanboy out over something that is awesome, or we completely tear something down we thought was stupid. So.
What are the platforms that you stream live on? Because you stream live on multiple platforms while you do these shows, right?
I stream live on YouTube under Soul Monkey Publications. So you can search Soul Monkey Publications and find me under YouTube. And there's a lot of actual shows on there. We do shows as a collective. So you'll find shows from people other than myself on there. And we got some game streams and interview shows. I got an interview show. Got you and your sister on the interview show. There's a lot going on my channel. There's a lot going on my channel. But you can also catch me on Twitch. You can catch me on Twitch as Mr. Soul-Lution. And I stream both places whenever I'm streaming. So you have a preference. You can go pick where you want to watch me. I'm not mad either way. I used to stream on Facebook, but no one was watching.
Yeah. My favorite place to stream is on YouTube. I think I tuned in on Twitch that last time, but for some reason, you guys can interact with me a little bit better when I'm on the chat on YouTube.
Because I'm the only one watching the Twitch. Right. So Julian's not watching the Twitch, right? So I'm the only one watching the Twitch and the YouTube. And so he can respond to the YouTube, but he's not responding to the Twitch because he's not watching the Twitch and we can't see it. That's why. So that's what's going on. And you know what? Honestly, we would prefer you watch on YouTube than on Twitch. We just give you guys the option to watch on Twitch if you are into that, because some people just prefer to watch the streams on Twitch. I don't know.
Yeah, Twitch can be a fun platform, especially if you're like a DJ or, you know, like it's just, I've been on, you know, the audience on certain shows where you can just type in and people are just partying like on the Twitch chat. And
yeah, they look, people are really into the Twitch chat. I ain't gonna lie. I would have more Twitch followers if I were like more social on Twitch, right? Because that's what it's about. But I don't have time to be social on Twitch.
Okay.
I gotta do like 5 shows and then I run 2 businesses. Like, I don't got time to be social on Twitch. I ain't got time to be hanging out with DJs.
No, that's the thing. Like when I log on there, you have to be engaged, like sit down and you know what I mean? You can't be doing multiple things while that's why it's fun. I've watched it and I was like, wow, the energy on here is different, you know, for a virtual platform. But at the same time, I'm just like, I can't sit here and comment every 2 seconds, even though it's fun.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You can easily lose yourself for hours. Yeah. But
you know, I also don't get I don't get watching people play video games. I don't get watching DJs. And I also don't get watching hot tub streams. Like
I've never even knew that was a thing.
Oh, that's the biggest paying stuff on Twitch, girls. Hot tub streams.
Oh my God. I don't know if I want to learn more.
Men and women just wearing bathing suits in a hot tub, sometimes playing video games, sometimes drinking, sometimes just chatting with the audience.
That's a little weird.
It's pretty cringe. It's pretty cringe. And I'm not really with it. But, you know, I'm not a teenage boy either. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I got for you. I'm not a teenage boy
either. So talking about entrepreneurs, especially ones who have blossomed from the pandemic, can you share, like, I just want to know, like, what, now that you have this new business, and actually, we haven't even talked about that yet. Can you tell us more about our Atelier
Block and Soul?
Atelier Block and Soul. Let us know more about this.
Okay. So, like I said, I went to go sell a podcast And I met some people, and they were super passionate and very much of the same mindset as myself. And I'll describe that a little bit before I go into the rest of the conversation because I think it's important. At Solutions, the main company I run, we believe that as a person, as an artist, as a creative, that no matter what you do, you can expand that, grow, and monetize it. I don't care if you're in the knitting sweaters, right? Like I love to knit sweaters, right? Then we believe there's an audience for that. We believe that there's a market for that, and that we can promote you and get you out there. And we can do that in a way that's fair to you without taking anything out of your pocket, right? And I met some people who were passionate about the same ideals as myself, and we all have different expertise. So I come with a lot of tech background and a lot of creative background in the teams that I have that I work with already on projects. So what I brought to this consulting agency was a lot of talented people who we can connect with, people who had small businesses, had medium-sized businesses, on the type of client base that my partners had. They are specializing in things like image consulting and fashion and interior design. And then the other one is specializes in financial literacy and investing. So together, we decided we are going to make a consulting agency where from top to bottom, we re-image you and your business, your look and your style. We help you to start investing the money that your business has and should be making wisely. And we get your technological backbone secured, make sure that you're running on equipment that you can use, things that are going to be beneficial to what you're trying to do. And then we get you in line with talent that can help brand you and grow your business and get you out there online. So that's what we are doing. That's what I'm doing now. It's a very exciting time in my life. It is largely the thing that I have wanted to do. And like you said, my real talent is in building relationships, and I get to use that talent like every day now. And I'm building these amazing relationships with really motivated people who are doing amazing things. And very soon, this will change into the thing that we want it to be, which is a full line production studio. We have an audio producer, we have shirt printers or really apparel printers. We have branding services, like everything is coming in line so that when you come and visit the studio, you'll be able to sit down and consult with us, find out all the things and goods and services you need, and to get them done right there with professionals in-house.
That is really exciting. Like this is, I mean, it's kind of, I love that the services you guys provide is very comprehensive. You're kind of like a one-stop shop, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what we're trying to be. We're trying to build a few more partner relationships, or with other people who can provide a few other small services that we feel like we're missing. But other than that, it should be a one-stop shop for anyone who's really serious about branding themselves, marketing themselves, making commercials and products that are going to get their message and their brand out there. You can just sit down and do it all with one team and get it knocked out and send it to the internet.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the new world today. This virtual platform, this space, this is the place to connect now, more than ever. And on my previous interview, I was talking with Boyce, just talking about that new virtual world out there that everyone's going to want to, immerse themselves into, which is kind of like imitating real life. I mean, it's not going to replace real life in interpersonal communication and connection.
It might, girl.
But that's the space that everyone's moving toward. That's the space where everyone's going to be in. And it's a little scary to me, but at the same time, it fascinates me a lot, like just to see where the world is going to go, within the next few years or so. It's going to come soon. It's coming fast with a vengeance.
Well, you know what? Funny, I was watching Jamiroquai yesterday, and the Future's made a virtual insanity, right? So
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah. I mean, he kind of he's a prophet in that sense.
You know
That
what?
song is,
You know what? I will talk to you about that later, but I did some research on Jamiroquai, and he kind of is a prophet. He got really into Native Americans and the first People's Nation stuff. And like all of his music is about social change, even that Virtual Insanity song. Like if you listen to the lyrics, like it's actually kind of, well, it's a band. One, I thought it was a person. It's a band. But yeah, Jamiroquai's pretty interesting.
I'm gonna have to dive deep into the lyrics of that song now. Thank you for, that's gonna like trigger my brain. I love diving into the lyrics of music. It's
Me
one of my
too.
favorite things to do.
Cause I'm a,
Jamiroquai,
cause I'm
Virtual
a psycho.
Insanity.
Yo, that song. Look, that song was fire though. People was like sleeping on Virtual Insanity when that song came out. No, they wasn't. That was a hit. But yo,
uh, so before we end this interview, I want to just ask you, like, can you share with the audience what your mission is for the future, near and far? Like, what is your vision for your team that you're building here and its expansion? Like, where do you guys see yourselves going?
that is a great question. Honestly, my vision for myself, and I would love to say my entire team and take them with me, but you cannot account for people, right? Not everyone shares the same heights of vision that you do, right? But I think my leadership team, I think for us, it's touching every part of industry. When I started this a decade ago, it was about being a media mogul and getting into production of goods, the selling of services. I want to have my hands in all markets. I don't. I've never understood a person that's like, I want to have this business, and that is it, right? Like I'm always of the mindset, why not everything? Right. And that's the future for me is, having my fingers, and I don't want to be filthy rich, but I want my fingers in everything.
Yeah, like, I mean, that's part of going global, like,
Yeah.
and if you can have that mindset to expand that big, I mean, that's powerful. And I truly believe that the only way to do that is through your network, building these
Yes.
relationships with people, because the more people you talk to, the more doors open up and you meet people that are fired up with the same vision as you, and then it just opens more doors. I just love that. That's what excites me about entrepreneurship. That's what excites me about people who are passionate about their dreams. Every time I meet, stop biting my hand, Fanny. Every time I meet somebody new and I connect with them, and my whole point, like when I hear these stories that fire me up, I always try to introduce the idea of me interviewing them on the show so I can share that with others. That energy is so powerful, and you can't get that anywhere else besides personal, interpersonal communication and connections with each other. The human connection. It's so important and it's very inspiring.
I agree with you 110%. Like you, my passion is people's passions. I get excited about helping people grow their passion, right? I literally want to see everyone succeed at what they love to do.
Me
Like,
too. I love that. That's, what really fires me up.
yes,
And
that's what really fires me up is like I said, if you knit sweaters and that's what you are passionate about, I want to help you be more passionate about that.
and just go the extra mile, making knitting sweaters like super exciting to whoever's passionate about that too.
Right. Let's
That's
cut you a dope YouTube video with transitions and stingers. And we come in on your hands knitting all fast or knitting all slow. I don't know. Let's do something. Let's
yeah,
do something.
yeah, that's so
Like,
cool. I just really appreciate you, Stephen, for just connecting with me when I first started this show. It just has strung some new energy into my life that I will forever be grateful for. And I don't want it to end. I don't want it to end. I just want to keep this going. I want to, just see, I want to take this journey with you on how far and how big we can make this.
Look, me and you are gonna ride it till the wheels fall off, but the wheels ain't gonna fall off because we're gonna do regular maintenance on the vehicles. Right?
Yes. That's a good analogy.
All right. And we're going to both be wildly successful. I'm very proud of you for all the things that you are doing. And, between me and you, we know what you're doing. I love what you're doing. I'm very proud of you on all fronts, from the show to your business and your family and your job. Like, you're killing it. And I'm really proud to be a part of what you are doing. And really, again, I wouldn't even be doing any of what I'm doing right now if it wasn't for DarkHorse Matters.
Aww,
like
Greg.
the path that my life is on right now is directly related to you and the dude on the Monday show, Dragon. Like, he's the one that was like, you need to be streaming right now. Like, if it wasn't for you two, I would not be on this wonderful path that I'm on right now. So I cannot thank you enough.
Awesome. Well, you know what? Let's just keep this going, man. This momentum. I love it. Thank you so much, Stephen, for joining us on DarkHorse Matters. And thank you, everyone, for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it, just make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you can see what's happening next week. And
That's right.
I have a great lineup of people to share their passionate journeys with you all. So with that being said, have a great week and be passionate.